Hi, this is Kevin, K3KTB, and welcome to my ham shack. Glad you can join me today. There's a few different topics I want to talk about. The first is, how do you sound to the individual that you're making the QSO with? You don't know unless the other person talks with you and lets you know what your sound is. It doesn't happen all the times. A lot of times there's a lot of quick QSOs unless you are out there calling CQ. That's when you usually can make an extended QSO with someone. A lot of times you're trying to make a DX contact, and it's very quick, pretty much call sign, location, RST, 5-9 usually, and then 73. So it's done and over with very quick. Well, early on when I got my general license, I found that there are YouTubers that do live stream, and I found this just by chance. I use QRZ for my online logging. I also keep everything in a paper log as well. But pulled up guys' QRZ page, and you could see on it had live stream. And so I clicked, and there was a link to YouTube. And so I was able to make a contact, and then you can go back and replay it and listen and see how you sounded on their end. So it's a great thing. It helps you set up your audio parameters on transmitting. Then I found another guy that did that and was able to hear the same thing. There was another YouTuber that I wanted to make contact with a long time and never been able to do it until this past Friday. This guy his name's Callum McCormick. He's from England. His call is M0MCX, and he makes the DX Commander antennas, of which I have one out in my yard there. He does a live stream every Friday morning. It's a great way to get on that live stream, make a contact, a DX contact, and see how you hear once you go back and replay it. Well, finally, I was able to get a hold of him. It was kind of frustrating because there are a lot of bands was just not hearing him, where it was so weak, where it wasn't worth the time, trying to call out to him, because we wouldn't really been able to make a QSO. So at any rate, I was finally able to make that QSO, and this is the first time I've been able to do this with my amplifier. And I was really worried about that I might have been overdriving it. Had the adjustments on my radio set a little too high for that. But I didn't sound too bad, and I did find out that I was able to back off the mic gain, back off the compression level, as well as adjust the bass and treble level so that my audio would be of much higher quality. Now with DX, I typically bump up the compression, turn up the mic gain just a touch, as well as adjust the bass and treble levels on the radio. But in this case, I found out that I could bump those back. So it's a wonderful way to be able to hear what you sound like on the other guy's end. Those opportunities don't come along very often, but anytime you can take advantage of that, please do. It's just a wonderful thing, and be able to make contact with those YouTubers. They're the ones that really got me started and got me going in this hobby. So it's great to be able to make those contacts on the radio. Another great thing that happened for me this weekend was that I was finally able to make my first AM contact on ham radio. I had heard others on AM having a QSO, and I didn't want to interrupt them. I probably could have thrown my call sign out there and they would have come back to me. I hate to be rude, and I've heard from a lot of different hams, especially on 2 meters, hey, you want to get in our conversations, bump in and it's fine, and we'd love to talk with you, but I'm just so hesitant to do that. Just my nature. And so this weekend on AM, they were having an AM rally. I think it was kind of like a contest for AM, but not really. I heard, did a lot of looking on AM, ham radio, and it seems like the guys can be pretty persnickety, I guess it's the best word I can think of right now, as to the audio quality of the people that they're speaking with. Of course, I only have the IC7300. A lot of these guys have old tube radios, even refurbished AM transmitters, and their audio quality is just fantastic. It's broadcast quality audio, and it's just amazing to listen to them. Well, I finally got my chance this weekend, because they were having the AM rally. Turned to one of the frequencies on one band that it was 20 meters, but it's a, no, maybe it was 40, I can't remember. But at any rate, I heard a couple gentlemen talking. They were making QSO with a third gentleman, and so they called CQ, and I finally made the contact with the first gentleman. I told him it was my very first AM contact, and so he was very nice. Took his time. We had a nice QSO. It wasn't quick like you would see in a lot of contests, so it was really nice, and so I was able to make that contact. We talked about radios and antennas and locations, things like that. And then the other gentleman was on frequency too. He said, after I finished the first QSO, he says, okay, I'm going to be your second AM QSO. So I had a nice little conversation with him. And so it was very, very pleasant, and finally made those first AM contacts. Now I got to work on 6 meters. I've never made a single contact on 6 meters. And so I got to wait for the right day, right time, and all the stars and moon and everything to align, and get a 6 meter contact. Finally today, I would like to talk about GMRS and FRS. I got my GMRS license a while back when they first they instituted the licensing fee for ham radio, and they dropped the fee for GMRS license. So this weekend, I finally got a base station radio set up for GMRS, and I got a handheld portable radio for GMRS as well. And my wife, I happened to go out to the grocery store. It's about 3 miles away as a crow flies. Said, here, take this radio with you. I want to see if we can make contact when you're at the grocery store. I just didn't know how these radios would work. I have my radio here in the base station. It's 25 watts, and I have a J-pole here that right in the shack. Can't get it outside right now. And then my wife had the little handheld radio. So once we got there, she put the call out for me, and she was actually sitting in her vehicle, and I was really surprised. I just didn't know how well GMRS would work, and it was great. I was real happy with that. I imagine we could get a lot further, a lot longer distance. She had a 20-25 watt radio with an antenna on her vehicle, but that won't happen with my XYL. So, but at any rate, it was a lot of fun, and it's another radio service that's great to use, especially if you have a family, children. You go out camping, go to the beach, park, boating, anything like that, or if you have a larger property and you don't want to have to worry about your cell phones, taking those along, losing them, whatever. It's a great way to communicate back to the house or the shop or with others out there. So another avenue for using radio. So take advantage of it all. $35 for 10 years. You can't beat that. Same way with ham radio. Once they added that fee in, I guess there used to be fee previously, and they did away with that, and then I brought it back. $35 for 10 years, nothing. It really is. You think about it. That I'm going to leave it there. I want to thank you for joining me. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Kevin, K3KTB, and